And as was mentioned earlier in the show, the focus of this conversation is what's happening at the Sandlighters Promenade. And joining us to tell us more about this project is Manager of Mayan Cable Tubing Limited, Raul Pelayo. Good morning, and welcome.
Good morning. Thank you, Marlene. Thank you, William. Thank you for having me. We are excited, as the mayor was when he first mentioned about Mayan cable tubing.
Yes.
And we want to just shed more light now to the public and have them see what's coming for the future attraction for the city.
Now, Raul, let's start off with the elephant in the room, which is just the concerns that people have had about this development in what has been a popular public place for so long. You have heard, I'm sure, some of the concerns that have been raised. What do you say in response to them?
I honestly haven't heard much of the concerns, but I know people go to the park and enjoy the park and do exercise, running, walking their pets. Some do swimming in the area. Just a key note that this development, when it does come, and if it does, it will not affect any at all the recreational activities of Belizeans and locals enjoying that area.
So the current plan allows for the same amount of access that people have at this moment?
Very much so. We're just adding on some more activities to make it more attractive and more inviting for additional locals and other people visiting the city to come and enjoy. Something as they can visually see development around and in the city, so they can enjoy it at the same time.
What are your plans? Let's ventilate what your plans are in terms of the services that you plan and what structures you plan to construct as well.
Sure. Mayan cable tubing, it's a wakeboarding park, right? That the wakeboarding park, the way it works, it's made of 6 towers that's going to be spread along the water top. 6 different towers with wires and cable attaching all of them together, along with running. Let me 1 minute.
We have
the videos is there. That helps, right? And if you notice, there are running carriers that pulls the individual so they can go along and wakeboard or wake ski in the water. For this project, we're first officially starting with the single system, exactly like this here. As you see, it's 2 towers, 1 on land and 1 in the water. And an operator controls the remote that propels the individual to go into the water.
Okay.
If you notice, there's no boats. We eliminated the boats, eliminated contamination, eliminated problems with the water and the ecosystem, right? So we've made it very environmentally friendly. And this ride here now allows a rider to have more fun, even if it's a first-time user. Also makes it easier for a first-timer to enjoy it, right?
Okay.
Of all different ages. Addition to that, you'll notice that if the rider behind a boat, and if you're skiing, you fall off, right? The boat would have to go all the way around and come back and pick you up. Keep in mind, if we do that in front of the Sandlighters Promenade, we have other traffics of other mariners using that area, and we wouldn't want boats to be colliding along with each other. So with this system now, it's in a controlled, safe zone that allows a rider to enjoy the ride. At the same time, if he falls off, you can immediately stop the ride, pull back the line, the operator holds on to it, and they go off again into the ride.
Now, at what phase are you for this project? There are currently some structures at the Sandlighters Promenade. So
under construction.
Yes. Under construction for the 2 different buildings that we're putting up there. The phases, we had complications with the platform itself. So what we're doing, we have to take out some of the concrete along the, I'd say like the veranda or the railing. It's not cavity fill. So the structure that we're planning to put up would not be safe enough or supported strong enough. So we had to...
This is the one at Wilson Street?
This is the one in front of the Mexican Consular Institute, right? So what we had to do is provide an architectural plan for the local building authority. And we prepared that and we submitted it, and they gave their review, and we made some adjustments on it. So now we're only waiting on the local building authority to give us the go-ahead on the construction of
So you're still awaiting some of your permits to be able to proceed? Is that what you're saying?
One or two permits, yes.
Okay.
We've come pretty far within this project. right? We've been through Department of Environment. We've gained the clearance from the DOE. We are doing water sample testings. We've been doing this since 2013, I believe.
Interesting. What's the results from the water status?
They're good. They're pretty good. I was more concerned with the water samples before anything else, right?
There's a lot of silt in that area too, isn't there? Yeah.
Just because of the bay. It's the bay area that is pretty shallow, so it's only the silt that comes up, but it's pretty clean enough to swim and enjoy.
Your project will utilize all 3 of the projected areas of the Sandlighter Promenade?
Eventually in the future. For now, phase 1 will only focus on the first platform.
Okay.
The first platform only. And then in addition, if we build up to for example, if you hold it here, this is a system 2, and this is a 2 tower of what we saw in the video.
Yeah.
Now, if this kicks the ground running and we are successful in it and people are enjoying this ride, then we will definitely go up to a full-size system with 6 towers.
Okay.
And then we plan to utilize the other 2 platforms to accommodate the ride itself.
So that is a rental of a public space. That's what you're doing?
Basically.
Okay.
So in this first phase, you'd have the tower at Wilson Street, and where would the other one be?
In the water.
In the water. So that would be the only public space that is leased?
Currently, the tower and an anchor that supports that tower.
Now,
And in terms of access to people who generally use the area, because that's one of the other concerns, how would that impact the recreational use by Belizeans?
When you say use, what do you mean by use?
A lot of people on Sundays or every opportunity, early morning, they swim, they do whatever in that water. How would that limit their access and their use?
Once the business is in an operation over there at the Sandlighter's Promenade, access and swimming is still open to the public.
So it's only the projected area that you have at this point. If you were to look at the rendering, you're seeing the building, the couple of tables and the dock. That's all that would be private space at this point. People can pass in front and utilize the promenade.
No problem, not a problem.
Now, several things come to mind when I see this. Obviously, this is something that is geared towards the boom in tourism that we see. There are many people who stop in Belize City and complain they're not activities that take place. This would definitely add to it. But we always see projects, anything near the water, there are concerns about environmental impact. Was that a part of the process in terms of being able to attain your permits to proceed with the construction of this?
Very much so. We've been on the project for close to 3 years now.
Okay.
So documentation and permits is something that is very vital for the life of this project. Without that, you know, we wouldn't even be here today. But permits have been met. The Department of Environment has been approached. They've sent down a crew to Belize City and did their assessment. I had to also prepare an environmental impact assessment for them. We also.
So what is the impact to the environment in that area?
Not a problem. So far, the marine life and the ecosystem of that area has not been an aspect for us there. So we are pretty much happy with that. I try to keep most of my documents together. So for the same reason, if I ever meet somebody that needs to see something, I try to have everything in black and white, right?
Okay.
Permits in black and white from all these different departments as we go through. So we have a paper trail and keep track of what we're doing.
So you're saying that based on your EIA, there's no impact to any environmental species or to any activity in that area that would take place?
No, because at the moment when they issued their Coastal Zone Management Authority and Institute issued their no objection letter, they basically stated there is no physical impact because there is no mangroves or marine life in that sandy bay.
And then the other point I wanted to ask, and this is just from my mere observation, is it safe? Princess, for example, has a dock that is regularly used for their charters, and so you have boats in and out of that area on a regular basis each day. Is it safe to have people embarking on these kind of water sports activities, given the fact that mariners will be back and forth?
fair enough question. We've been asked that several times, even when we decided on the location where we wanted to launch this business for this cable system. That was one of the main things of our personal concern. Me and my partner, it's always about two things: quality and safety. And if it's not qualified and certified, then we can't have it here. And when we sat down with the manufacturing company, the people I work along with that is going to manufacture and install this system for us here, we had to send image from Google Map, and they had to come down and take a look at the area, take photos, and make sure that this is a qualified area compared to where the other areas that we had in mind. Right? So safety was our main priority, just to clarify. And for the area that we're setting up the towers, if you notice, it's in a control area, and mariners from the Princess Marina, they can be in and out on their boats, and it won't affect where we are.
What's the timeline that you're looking at in terms of a startup date, and what's left to give you the green light to go ahead?
Basically, we're just waiting on the local building authority to approve our plans, and if our plans can be approved, then we can start our construction, given that we get the go-ahead from the Department of Natural Resources, right? Because we have to also secure the permits from Belmopan.
And if you are able to obtain your permits and you proceed with construction of the first phase of the project, the further investment would be based on the response that you have to the activity?
Wakeboarding?
Yes, the wakeboarding, yes. This, as long as we get all permits and documents in, then we suspect probably within, if we would receive it tomorrow, within 3 months from then, we should be able to launch. And even before we launch, safety again is another priority for us. We have the company that's manufacturing all our equipment coming down, training our staff, training our management, giving us training on maintenance to upkeep the ride, so we keep it as operational as possible throughout the year. And at the same time, we can secure our guests and staff with safety instructions or assistance as we go through the ride.
What kind of volume are you projecting?
At this point, Neil, we're not looking at much people. We're probably averaging between 50 to 100 people a day.
And your operating hours would be from?
Operating hours would be roughly about 8 to 10 hours daily, right? Or some days of the week too. If we get up to the scale that we would like to be on a full-size system, then we're looking in close to about maybe 8 to 1,000 people a day.
Then you're relying primarily on the tourists, because we wouldn't have a Belizean population to be able to support that during a weekday, for example.
Correct. But at the same time, we still have to keep our partnership with our local economy, because this business has branched out because of the effort of having locals involved in it. For example, I'd like to use an example used in the Philippines. There's an area in the Philippines that was a pretty poor environment, pretty poor neighborhood or village, and so an investor went in there and put in a cable system, opened up a wakeboarding school, and got the whole community involved. And now today that community has become one of the very growing economy for that little village, and it gives the opportunity for the locals in that area to also enjoy something fun and build a career on it. Most of the companies like Monster or Red Bull and these big companies that do extreme sports, they go out to these places and they recruit the best riders, and they put them on a payroll and take them all over the world.
Now, have you done your forecasting in terms of price projections? Would it be something that could be affordable? Because we saw the balloon bar, for example, didn't literally take off.
I don't know if they did or what they did, but for us, yes, we've done a 5-year projection, and we've been looking at the area for now, like I said, 3 years. I've started off working with SBDC here in Belize City. They've been guiding me along as we prepare our business plan, our financial records. So we've been deeply involved and personally involved in getting all these documents and all these preparation ready, just in the instance that we receive these permits that we're waiting on, so we could launch and move forward. even financing. We've secured financing for the first leg of the project. For the full-size system, we've already started with several of the banks, local banks here in Belize. We have one very strong bank here that will support the completion of the full-size cable system, and we're talking well over about $2.2 million.
And will it be affordable to Belizeans?
Of course. If it's not affordable to Belizean, why would it be here, right? It's only fair that we have it affordable and attainable, that we want Belizeans to get out there not only one time a month or every 6 months or every 3 months. We want to have you guys out here at least no less than 3 times a week. Affordable at a rate that people can come out and enjoy. We want the young kids and the younger generation, if you're going to the college or universities or the schools, when the summer break comes, we want them to look forward to the park.
So what will be your estimated price range?
Price range, we're only estimated at the moment, we're looking at roughly between $25 to $35 per person.
US or Belize?
Belize dollars.
Okay.
Compare this to anywhere in the world, they're charging roughly about 45 to 55 US for half an hour.
You'd have a different price point for tourists.
Of course,
yes.
because tourists are the one that has to pay the bill, so we could enjoy it, right?
All right.
All right, well,
But that's basically what we're looking at.
So at this point, it is still not a certainty until you get your permit, the clearance from the CBA.
Yes.
Okay.
CBA,
and indicators at this point are?
Indicators, we're only waiting on the final go-ahead.
Okay.
So I think this week here we should sit with the mayor of the city. I must commend the city and its personnel. It's been a lengthy process, but the mayor also made it clear. He said, from the concept, Raul, I like the idea, it's very nice, but we have to make sure all the documents are met right and everything has to come together perfectly so you can go ahead and launch your project. Next to the cable system, we'll have an obstacle course also. So this is another attraction that will...
That'll be over the water?
This will be along the shore side. One section will be over the water and the other section will be on land.
Okay.
Right? This is suspended over the air and you can enjoy this also.
All right.
Training for this, I've been to Houston and I've been to the Middle East. While visiting family in the Middle East, I had the opportunity to go to Abu Dhabi, invited by the wakeboarding park there, and I went to do training with them there. So we've been all around, we've been working diligently on this, and we're trying to get all the documentation done right, just perfect, so we could start and enjoy something new for Belize City.
Okay.
For extreme sports enthusiasts, this is a welcome addition. We wish you the best with this initiative, and of course we'll continue to listen to the conversation regarding this project.
Thank you guys very much for having me this morning. We only wanted to clear up and give you an idea of what's coming next. So we clear up the area, what's happening in Sandlighter's Promenade, right?
All right, thank you very much. We're going to go ahead and take a break. When we come back, it's for a conversation with the Ministry of Health, so stay tuned.